You are in the right place. On today's segment of What Women Bring, a closer look, Lady Joi, Wildcard Honoree 2025, takes us on her journey from media to entrepreneurship and ministry, and how her childhood dreams and experiences have been brought to fruition. I learned a lot, and I know you will too. Lady Joi.
Hey, LaVanda.
I'm so glad to have you.
Man, I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so glad because you and I have been wanting to connect for a long
years.
time.
Yes.
I've been in Charleston now almost 10 years.
I was going to say, it's been about 10 years that
and
I
we
remember.
might cross paths, but we never had a chance to just sit and talk, and now we do.
Now we do.
So I'm excited.
I am too.
Happy
New Year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Good. And it's going to be great.
It's going to be a blessed and great New Year.
Yes. So when I met you, you were Lady Joi in the media, on the radio. But when I read your nomination, I'm like, oh, when did she do all of that? Or maybe it's already been there. I don't know. So walk me through all the things that are Lady Joi, because you have a business, you have ministry, you're still doing media.
Yes.
So just tell us what you're doing.
Wow. So it's a lot, but it's not a lot at the same time. I am grateful that God sustained me to have a beautiful over 30-year career in media, radio, and television. Like you said, when you met me, I was working with Cumulus Media. At that time, it was Citadel.
That's right.
And we were Magic 101.7 at that time. Now it's Magic 107.3, Z93 Jams. And before they were sold off, it was Heaven 1390.
Right.
We were all up under one roof, and then I did traffic and all the things. And I also worked in television, doing a couple television shows, hosting video shows, talk shows, little around the way Charleston shows, things of that nature. Currently, I am no longer with Cumulus Media. I left in 2018. Under wonderful terms. I still love that company and would go back today and work for them if the Lord permitted me to, but that wasn't his plan. I have great lasting friendships with them. And what it did was propel me and, prepare me for my next, which I started a consulting firm and started consulting with other radio stations, internet-based stations, because I started seeing the change. The first change, of course, came with satellite radio. A lot of us in the actual radio industry, terrestrial radio industry, we were very hesitant about the satellite. Just like syndication, that meant that on our end, we felt like a lot of our listeners now were going to transition from normal radio listening in the car, in the home, in the workplace, to now satellite listening, which now means no commercial time, things of that nature. But as we can kind of see, satellite radio and everything else, it kind of like leaned back into regular terrestrial radio format. You might not have as many commercials, but you still have advertising, things of that nature. But we did not see the internet coming in the way that it came with the podcast, the vlogs, the YouTube style things. However, because I was going back to school for my degree and trying to level up a little bit, as they say, you start to see all of those different facets come into play. And with that, I wanted to get my hand into the internet world of broadcasting. So when I left, I did consulting work for a couple of internet stations. And it was very good, very fun, very interesting to learn the models of how they did it. But I had an edge. My edge is the fact that I come from old school terrestrial radio. And I come from radio back in the day where we had to cut and splice to make commercials and to record. And it wasn't so much technology back then. So going into this new phase of actually branding and finding a station that I can work with and possibly buy into, became my next goal and my next mission. And what I did not realize was some years ago, as we were moving out of our old place and into our new home, I found some old journals of mine from middle school, high school, just throughout my young adult life. And I literally said during that time that I wanted to be, this is going to be hilarious and a throwback for you. I literally wanted to be like the Ewing family and be like the ladies, Diane Carroll and all of them in Falcon Crest, where I could put on all the good clothes, go into the office for the business meeting on Monday or Tuesday, Thursday, let me hop on a plane and be out or, just be at home with my children, enjoying that life. And to see that actually starting to unfold became like, well, wait a minute, like that aha moment that we all talk about. So seeing that and then seeing me actually write down and say, I want to own my own radio station. I want to own my own television network. I want to own a beauty company. 1988. I'll never forget the year my mom she had just had my brother. She was coming back from, maternity leave and things like that, starting to reacclimate herself back out into the community, workplace and stuff. So she went to the fashion fair counter. And further throwback, fashion fair in the mall. We had in Detroit, Michigan, where I'm born and bred and raised, place called Hudson's. That was our Dillard's, if you would like to say, or Saks in the Midwest. We went into there and to see all the women of color, Black women, powerful, strong, house women, Black women walking into Hudson's, going to this fashion fair counter, like so excited because they knew that they would finally be able to find their color.
There you go.
To find their shade, to find their match. I was like in awe, standing there looking, walking with my mom, going as she went up to the counter to say, hey, I would like this red lipstick. It was rouge then, I like this blush for my face. And to see her purchase those things and the pride and the excitement that she had, and to see darker skinned women than my mother stand there and see themselves getting makeup applied and how radiant they looked, I was like, this is it. I went home and I wrote in my journal, I want to own my own cosmetics line. I want to help women show the world their color.
So that's where you are now.
That's
you have
literally where I am.
More about that, because I would take for the throwback for fashion fair. I remember taking a trip with my mom to go school shopping in Atlanta, and as a treat, she let me get my face made up at the fashion fair counter. I was going to high school, and she thought it would be nice to let me do that. And I remember driving all the way back from Atlanta to Savannah, just in the mirror,
cheesing.
Look at my face.
Right. And think about it. Fashion fair, Johnson & C. Johnson, they were on the cusp for us. Fashion fair was our first Bronner Brothers. They was traveling around the world with these beautiful women and beautiful men, showing us what color looks like, showing us, reimagining what we could look like on stage with all of these different clothes, hairstyles. I remember getting Jet magazine and Ebony magazine and scrolling to
when Ebony was this big.
And Jet was like this big, and scrolling to look and see all the makeup looks, the trends that we had, to see the beauties of the week, the pageant girls from the HBCUs. I remember looking at the fashion fair cosmetic ads and them, having like Patti LaBelle, Dionne Carroll, Gladys Knight, showing us them using their products and what it looks like on those different skin complexions, and saying to myself, I can't wait. I remember literally getting a beating though. I have to say it. My mom got her makeup and she would go back, and I remember me and my cousin went and played in that fashion fair makeup. Baby. It was the funnest times, but it was the worst of times. Because, now that was the holy grail. You don't play in that.
No, you don't.
You can play in my other little stuff, the little knockoff stuff, but this makeup here, you could not play in. And I remember, like, when I was developing the cosmetic line, I started the development of the cosmetic line in 2009. And I remember crying as I was developing the products, because I remembered all of the fashion fair products.
Right.
I remembered even us getting into Avon and Mary Kay, you know, but there was nothing still that outdid fashion fair for us. And I remember saying, I want my products to exhibit and exude the luxury and the confidence and the everything that embodied being a Black woman.
Right.
I wanted my product line to be able to exude all of those things and to be able to allow women to feel all of those emotions. I remember praying and saying, Lord, you know, let this cosmetic line be exactly what it needs to be for that lady when she picks it up. When she puts it on her face, let her feel exactly like she should feel as a beautiful woman and show the world her color. That's our line.
Nice.
It is literally economical products for the everyday woman, allowing her to show the world her color.
I love that. So tell me the name of your company.
It is POJE Cosmetics.
Okay, POJE. Where's POJE come from?
POJE comes from, it is a acronym of my actual founding company, which is Pieces of Joy Entertainment.
Okay.
So POJE,
Okay,
POJE
nice.
Cosmetics.
Awesome. And what do you have in your line?
So we have, we started out at first, I was nervous, I have to be honest. So I took the lower end route, which is what I call it, by starting out with makeup brushes and the sponges, the tools that you need to put the brushes
those are important,
on. But those
it
are
makes
very
a
important. So I wanted to create brushes that would be able to handle our face.
Gotcha.
Because we have beautiful creases and cresses and corners. Our face isn't set like everyone else.
Right.
So I wanted our brushes to be able to highlight and contour and apply the eyeshadow seamlessly. I noticed with a lot of the tools, they would become prickly. You know, brushes feel like it's sticking you. The bristles would sometimes stick to your face depending on the products that you were using. So I wanted to craft tools that we could use and that would be lasting.
Yeah.
You know, they would be the foundational thing that we need to allow us to show the world our color.
Yeah.
So we started out with those. We launched them. I did a pre-launch in 2016 at my first conference. It's called the Dream Pusher Conference. And basically that conference is about helping people push out their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, whether it's in the corporate world, their personal life, maybe they want to do entrepreneurship, whatever it is. Yeah. So we did that conference, and I figured what better way to launch that with that conference to show people I'm not just trying to bring you a conference, but I am walking this thing out with you as we're doing it. So after 2016, got the feedback from everybody, went back in the lab, worked on some more things. I even showcased a couple of our lip products during that time. So we had a real glossy lip gloss. We had like the first wave of matte lip glosses that were coming out in lip stains.
Yeah.
So we got kind of mixed feedback because most of us weren't used to wearing a lip stain or a matte lipstick because Fashion Fair, going back to our foundation, gave us high satin, high gloss with our lips. So we were accustomed to that. So we'd never seen that before. So a lot of people shied away from that in the beginning. So 2018, 2019, we launched officially. 2017, we launched officially. 2018, we opened our website doors.
Okay.
In December, and we launched all the products, did very well. And the blessing behind all of this, LaVanda, is the Lord provided, meaning I was able to fund this 100% out of my pocket.
Yes.
And so I didn't have to go get a loan or anything like, typical brands have to do startups. I was able to invest over $30,000 into my brand to kick it off and start it. And we did very well within that first year of those products, launching those products. We called it Purple Bags Was Everywhere.
Okay.
Then in 2020, during the pandemic, like everyone else, we were still curating our formulations for our cosmetics itself.
Yeah.
And as 2020 rolled in, of course, we had more time.
Yeah.
I got my first batch of finalized testing products back from the formulas that we actually loved. And again, I sat there and cried.
Okay.
For a whole day. I literally cried. And it wasn't like a sad cry. I was literally just overjoyed because I was holding the very products that I remember saying that I wanted to create.
So long ago. It's like birthing a baby.
It was
when you cry after
beautiful.
birth, it is like, oh my God, look at what I have been able to do.
Absolutely. And from that point on, I was still deviling in the internet radio scene at that time. Still doing television, still emceeing, still speaking, and still following my call with Christ.
Right.
And in 2022, I accepted the call to become a pastor.
Nice.
And that kind of opened a whole nother door and window for me. As I began to say yes, even the more to Christ with that, the Lord allowed me to walk even more in radio. And in 2022, we finalized the deal. And I became the owner of ZOLAM Communications. And I now own WADJ, Pure 92.9 FM radio station. It's an internet-based station. We are preparing now for our crowd fundraising because I still believe that it's supposed to be a terrestrial station. I do believe that we're supposed to be able to ride around in your car with you, where you don't have to put an app and do it, and that we are supposed to be heard in a city and be able to lay our community stick there and be able to be a force in the community, because radio in our culture has been the place where we got the news. It's been the place where we got the information we needed to move forward in our community as far as financing, education, our celebrities, our musical talents, our actors, our activists.
Yes.
We need to hear our activists more.
Yes.
We don't see them a lot on television. We see them a lot on our phones now on these different apps. But we need to get back to the foundation and the core of who we are. And I am a firm believer that media is our place. And it is where we thrive at in order to get the information out to our community, to empower, to educate, and to bring forth the movement progression that we need to better us.
Wow. So entrepreneurship, media from a long time ago and evolving, and then back to the roots and cosmetics. So no wonder you was the wild card. Couldn't nobody figure out where to put you. That's where the wild card goes. It's like, okay, we can't put her in one box.
Yeah.
So wild card it is.
That blew me.
I could tell when I called you. You were like, what?
Because I literally looked up Wildcard. And when I looked it up and I saw what it meant, just like what you were saying, you can't necessarily be boxed into one place. You can fit into whatever category that they are offering in that moment. Again, I had to sit down and I had to take a moment and kind of breathe and exhale. And what really topped the cake for me, put the cherry on it, as they like to say, I was sitting and I was with my mom. Her best friend from Detroit came. And she's like 82, 83 years old. We were sitting and we were talking, and she was like, she called me by my first name. She's my brother's godmom. And she said, I'm so proud of you. And I said, yes, ma'am, I appreciate that. She said, no. She said, to be honored by the YWCA is an honor beyond an honor. She said, do you realize what that means? What the YMCA, YWCA, what that stands for, and what that meant to our community and our culture. And again, I sat back and I was like, it was like a whole rush of feeling everything from our ancestors to this point and what that meant. And LaVanda, all I could think about was for you, what that means for you to be able to sit in this seat and to see this move forward and be able to honor and to bring back forward and all of the things. And it just made me even more humble to say, Father, you are giving me an honor like this that is beyond any honor that I could ever think of other than you saying, servant, well done. You know, I think about all of that and think about what that means and what that means that I need to get to work on even the more.
Wow.
You know, because most people stop and they're like, oh, I'm honored. You know, let me celebrate that. My mind wasn't that. My mind was, okay, so what else do we need to do? What else do I need to help with our community? What am I seeing that's a disadvantage right now? What's happening in our schools with our young people? I'm a pastor in church now. What am I seeing that where's that void, that gap that we need to fill? Because all of these things were pivotal in our community. The YMCA, YWCA, the church, media, all of these things work hand in hand together. What else do we need to do?
Yeah.
That was instant what I was thinking.
I love hearing that. And I particularly love hearing what the elders feel about what the organization is doing. I got chills. It's warm in here, but when you were telling that part of the story, I got chills. Because it is, for me, it's an honor to be able to keep the legacy of this organization. And it means so much. And we need it more than ever. Seems like every year we need it more than ever, but I really feel like this, where we are right now.
Yeah, you think about it. This organization, you know, was a place for us to go sleep at. It was a place for us to learn how to play sports. It was a place where we came for our senior citizens. We didn't have senior citizen homes, but it was a place for them to be able to come do pottery lessons, you know, learn technology as it was advancing, you know, learn educational things, you know, maybe they didn't get a college degree, but it can still teach them a trade. You know, this organization was vital in our voter registration and our rights, our civil rights that they're trying to take from us now.
We're almost right back where they were then.
Where they were then.
Absolutely.
You know, this organization was the foundation of a lot of things that we have taken for granted. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it that way, but it was this organization helped fuel a lot of that. So to see it still in existence, to see it honoring and capturing those that are still trying to pioneer those things forward, it's unbelievable. And it's heartwarming and it's humbling.
It definitely is. Definitely. So now all of that you're doing, but you also have a family.
I do.
Let's talk about your family.
I do.
Look at your face change.
So I have always been family driven. My parents were married until I was 16 and got a divorce. And I watched as a child from the perspective of both parents, you know, going and moving forward in life. And then I became an adult. And then you see a different perspective as an adult. And so I've always wanted to be a mom. Like I told you, you know, I've always had that thing that I just wanted to walk into the office and then I wanted to go home and put on my furry house coat, little furry slippers, and then walk through the house, children, you know, things like that, you know. But ironically enough, as fate would have it, I got married and then got a divorce.
Oh, wow.
I had a son out of that, produced a beautiful son. His father and I are great friends. I love his new family, his wife and his daughter. And my son, then it was just the two of us for a while. And then the Lord blessed me with an amazing man. He is the only piece of chocolate that I can have. I'm allergic to chocolate.
Oh my goodness.
So he's the only chocolate that I can have.
You got it good.
I got it good. And as the Lord would have it, he is a pastor himself. He's an apostle. When I met him, he was he's a prophet, but he was just a prophet then. And so we have matriculated through life. We've been together for 20 years.
Wow.
We've been married. This year in March, we'll make 16 years. And here's a real truth. Every day ain't been every day.
Yes,
you know,
I like that.
But it has been a beautiful day. It has taught me a lot. It has made me appreciate love for what it really is, the essence of what God's love really is. And I would always tell him when we first started dating, if we get married, I'm not doing this again.
that.
This is it. So we gonna work this through.
Yeah.
And I believe in the vows that we take. So if we're gonna do this, this is what it's gonna be. And please understand me clearly when I say this. Even if we're in a cardboard box, that's where I'm gonna be at with you.
Yes.
And we have had our cardboard box moments throughout our marriage, but I am grateful for every lesson that we have had and every lesson that we have learned. I couldn't picture myself loving anybody the way that I love this man.
Wow.
And I can honestly say I've never felt love from a man the way that, outside of my father,
Right.
the way that I felt it from him. And I know it's genuine, it's pure. It doesn't want anything. It doesn't hold anything against me. It doesn't look for my faults and shame me for my needs. It doesn't downgrade me. It doesn't belittle me. But it's always encouraging. It's always supportive. It's always loving. Even in my mistakes, it loves me as if I never did anything wrong. I couldn't pray for a love like that anymore.
Well, that's downright biblical.
When I tell you I couldn't pray, I'm trying to keep myself from crying because I couldn't. And then out of our union, he was divorced and he had a son prior in his first marriage. And ironically enough, our sons are 8 months apart.
Oh my goodness.
So when people see our sons, they honestly believe that they are ours together.
Yes.
And we laugh. So I have a chocolate prince and I have a vanilla prince. The vanilla prince is my son. The chocolate prince is his. My son is 24. His son is 23. Then we have our butter pecan princess.
Oh.
She is the one that we share together.
Yes.
Her name is a derivative of all of our names together. She is our spice in the punch.
I like
She's
it.
real mellow, but she got that spice on the backside. I have been blessed to have 3 amazingly gifted children. A lot of people ask me, how was I able to raise them the way that I did? My baby girl was homeschooled. My 2 boys were in traditional, regular school, but they all were in the GATE program. So my oldest son is very smart, musically inclined, athletic.
Yes.
However, street sense is not him,
Okay.
but he has some. But you can't tell him that.
Right.
My son, Jordan, so DJ is my first son. Jordan is we have 2 oldest boys. So we call oldest and oldest.
I got you.
So Jordan is our second oldest. Jordan is my intellectual and he's athletic.
Okay.
He's the model. So that's them and their selves, my Crockett and Tubbs.
Okay.
Miami
I like
Vice.
that. Yes.
Both definitely got scholarships to go to college. Both graduated college, did very well. One majored in sports medicine, communications, this is minor. Jordan is the mathematics teacher.
Okay.
DJ now, he started a business when he was in high school, I think his senior year of high school. He does music production.
Oh, nice.
So he has his music production company. He has 12 songs on the charts.
Okay.
Has an album out, and he has his own stretching business. So he is a therapist, stretch therapist.
Yeah.
His dream was to go and play football, and he kind of decided after a minute, nah, I'm gonna do this. But I think if the opportunity presents with him with sports medicine, he would probably go and work in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Doing, sports medicine. Jordan, like I said, he wanted to be a teacher. He was going to go to China and teach math and English in China.
I've heard that's a good gig.
Yeah, it's a very good gig. But then he changed his mind and he sought the Lord. And so he's a mission. He does mission. He's a missionary. He does a lot of mission work. So at the end of this month, the 25th, he leaves of January to go to Brazil for 2 years to do missions work. And my heart is, you look at your children and both of them have asked me, Mom, what was your wish for us? What was your ideal for us to be when we grew up? And I said, I didn't. I didn't have an idea. I just knew that you were going to be great at whatever it was. And I just wanted God to be the focal point of it and to be the leading of it. And then baby girl, she graduated early. She was homeschooled. They basically told me, listen, we can't keep going and getting her work.
We've done all we can do.
Yeah, she was like in the second grade doing fifth grade work.
Yes.
And they were like, we don't want to promote her because socially, which makes sense.
Definitely.
You don't want to put her into that kind of situation. So I homeschooled her and she graduated 2 years early.
Wow.
She turned 18 in December. So she turned 18 on the 18th. Her birthday was the 18th. So they call that your golden birthday. So we called it her 18-karat gold birthday.
Oh, nice.
She started her business when she was 9 years old. She has a clothing business, boutique, and then she started a couture portion. She's been designing clothes since as long as I can think of, and I believe that she got that from my brother that passed away in 2012. That was his thing. He was very much so into fashion.
Yeah.
And she started sewing when she was like 5 or 6. So she's been designing clothes. The outfit that I wore, as a matter of fact, for What Women Bring, she made that.
Oh, that was
that
bad.
red suit. Majority of my red carpet outfits, she has had a hand in. She is very, very talented, very gifted, and I am excited to see where this journey takes her. She didn't go the traditional route of going to college, and I didn't force her.
Yeah.
Because I believe sometimes college isn't for everyone. Absolutely. And let's be honest, the debt right now is not cool. And for her, she's doing a trade. This is something that she will forever be able to make money in and work in. She can go into many different avenues doing fashion. And so she now wants to go to a couple fashion houses and kind of study, do apprentice work and learn. And I'm here for it. Baby girl, go. The world is your oyster.
Absolutely.
So that's my family, and I love them. And I am eternally grateful that the Father trusted me enough to be a guiding and a vessel for these individuals. Even Jordan, although I didn't birth him, I am appreciative that he trusted me enough to still put him in my hands.
Absolutely.
And his mother and I are absolutely amazing together. And I love the fact that she allowed me into his life like that, just as with my ex-husband, his mother, his bonus mom. I love her. Yeah. She was a blessing to him, and I couldn't have prayed for somebody else to have my heart, to be his bonus mom.
Yeah.
Your
story is amazing. If we had more time, I haven't even had to think about the questions I thought I would ask you, because you have just unfolded so much, and you've been so open and vulnerable, and I really want to thank you for that.
Man, listen, I believe that our stories are to help somebody else. Yeah. And just as Jesus walked the earth to inspire us, I believe that we are supposed to inspire somebody else. And I am a firm believer that if I can just help one person, touch one life, then I have done what I believe that the Lord has asked me to do.
Awesome. All right. How can we find you on social media?
Sure. I am Lady Joi everywhere.
Okay.
So Facebook, Lady Joi, LaDyJoi. On Instagram, LaDyJoi. On TikTok, the same. You can find me on the World Wide Web, as they say, www.LadyJoi.com.
Oh, you are Lady Joi everywhere.
Lady Joi everywhere.
That. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And thank you for
having
me.
I
really appreciate it.
I love you. And I look forward to being with y'all.
I know. Me
this
too.
is going to be a fun ride.
It is.